Wow. Thank you for that introduction. I've never been introduced like that before. Speed and fire and never unless but thank you. So guys, firstly, I think the team Skyroot, who've made not just Hyderabad, T-Hub, but the entire country proud. I think you deserve a much, much bigger round of applause than anybody else. That's not loud enough. Inkoddi gattiga. Seriously. Like Pawan was saying, it was a goosebumps moment for all of us. Even though we may not have been directly involved in the process of rocket making, in the process of what all you had to go through over the last 4 years to build a rocket, to actually put it up there in space, I think each of us could feel the sense of pride. Each of us could feel the sense of happiness that each of you, I'm sure, must have felt that day. So Bharat, I know you don't do much talking, but when Bharat and Pawan come together, Bharat is, of course, representative of India. I would imagine Bharat, right? Pawan is Pawan, wind, air. So in spite of all the headwinds, when these two guys came together, it had to happen, and it happened from Hyderabad, and that's what makes me the most happy. So congratulations, Pawan. Congratulations, Bharat. Congratulations, Padma Shri Gyan Gandhi ji. Thank you, sir. We had met earlier. Thank you very much. And also, I think Anand Technologies, Subbarao Garu, for being a valuable partner to this young team. Congratulations to the 210 family of Skyroot, which should really, I mean, this is once in a lifetime kind of a moment. This is something that you can't recreate. This is a truly historic moment, not just for you, but for the entire Indian space tech industry. And it could not have happened from a better place than Hyderabad. And I remember very, very distinctly and very vividly when Jayesh, myself, MSR, Sujay, all of us were part of the historic launch of space tech policy by government of Telangana. We had done it in Metaverse because this was during the COVID times. So we had done it in Metaverse, and it was the first of its kind for a government to launch its policy in Metaverse also. So I'm truly happy, truly proud that a space tech company from Hyderabad, from India, has broken all barriers. And what's even more astounding, like they say, when you don't understand something, people say it's not rocket science, like MSR said. But to actually ace rocket science and to actually make it happen in the very first go, I think one of the very few companies in the world is what Pawan and Bharat were telling me, to have done this across the world. Ante first attempt lone మనం స్పేస్లోకి రాకెట్ పంపించే సత్తా మనకుందని చెప్పగలిగే శక్తి సంతరించుకోవడం అంటే అది మామూలు విషయం కాదు. కాబట్టి kudos to all of you and your abilities and your amazing teamwork. It cannot happen, with 2 or 3 people coming together. I'm sure all of you together had to pull out all-nighters, had to pull out extra hours, had to pull out lot of hardships, had to endure a lot of hardships during the last couple of years. I know these guys were doing a lot of rounds to investors, a lot of rounds to private equity players. They really toiled hard, both of them, to pitch and to get the right kind of investment. And your biggest shareholder is on his way. He said he'll join us shortly. Anil he's coming up. Anil of Greenco. My compliments to him as well. Because inventors, innovators need capital, need the support, especially when you're trying to break through in new sectors. Because already established sectors, somebody trying to ape an Amazon and come out with an arm, a similar e-commerce arm, is a relatively easy story to sell. But you're talking rockets, you're talking an Indian company from 2 Indian youngsters wanting to make rockets and send them to space, it's a difficult sell. So Pawan, we have to learn a lot of marketing techniques from you also. Because, I'm sure you've had to really, ఎందుకంటే ముందు రాకెట్ అని చెప్పంగానే సగం మంది అక్కడే పుట్ ఆఫ్ అయిపోతారు. ఇండియన్ కంపెనీ పిల్లలు చూస్తేనేమో ఇంకా చిన్న పిల్లలాగా ఉన్నారు, వీళ్ళు రాకెట్స్ ఏంటి అనుకునే టైపే ఉంటారు. I don't know how many of you speak Telugu, by the way. Okay, some of you do. Actually, most of you do. So, the point I'm trying to make is, it's very, very difficult. It's like literally selling sand in a desert. And not easy. You're breaking barriers, you're breaking ceilings, you're breaking new frontiers. This is not easy job. And also what's even more important is, see, I've seen these guys before, I'm seeing them again. I've seen them 2 years ago. I've seen them recently, even before the launch, and now I'm seeing them again today. Even today when I was talking to them, I could feel So your biggest shareholder, your biggest investor is here. Why don't you come up? Hey, come up, it's okay. I don't know how many of you seen this guy, but you should see him. This is Anil Garu from Greenco. So like I was saying, Gopi, I was just telling them, Gopi, that you need to find a partner who believes in the story, who needs to believe in the concept, who needs to actually believe in ideas which break frontiers. And you've truly done that. My compliments to you as well in believing in their abilities, in believing in the team's abilities, and funding in, the much needed, giving in the much needed impetus so that they could actually send a rocket into space. But what was even more impressive was just a few minutes ago when we were chatting. So నేను అడిగాను మరి టీ-షర్ట్ నాకేదే అని అడిగాను. మీ వాళ్ళు ఇవ్వలేదు ఫ్రీగా, అది కూడా ఇవ్వట్లేదు. They said we are also getting into merchandise. I don't know whose idea that is, but it's a brilliant idea because lots of kids, I'm sure, will look forward. Because as children, as youngsters, if you are enthused about these sectors, I'll tell you a simple story that all of us can relate to. So myself, Jayesh, my entire team, we were in Japan on a visit. We went to Hamamatsu. It's a small town. It's where Suzuki is headquartered. So we went there to meet the chairman of Suzuki, Osamu Suzuki. So we were there ahead of time, almost a half an hour, because we knew that the Japanese are very punctual. They like, like the rest of us to be punctual also. మన ఇండియన్ స్ట్రెచబుల్ టైం లా కాకుండా వాళ్ళ దగ్గర టైంకి వెళ్ళాలి మనం. కాబట్టి ముందే వెళ్ళి కూర్చున్నాం అక్కడ. కూర్చుంటే దే సెడ్ వై డోంట్ యూ గెట్ ఎ టూర్ ఆఫ్ ద మ్యూజియం, సుజుకి మ్యూజియం, విచ్ ఇస్ రైట్ అక్రాస్ ద ఆఫీస్. అంటే సరే అని చెప్పి మేమంతా మ్యూజియంకి వెళ్ళిపోయాం. we started going around that Suzuki museum. So it had everything from the first make to the entire set of automobiles that they have made. So we were going around all fascinated. Appati కార్లు ఏంటి, అప్పటి ఆటోమొబైల్స్ ఏంటి, అప్పటి టెక్నాలజీ ఏంటి, ఎట్సెట్రా ఎట్సెట్రా. Then I suddenly, to my surprise, I saw some very, very small kids, probably in grade 3 or grade 2. Second class పిల్లలో, third class పిల్లలో, వాళ్ళు, there is about 40 of them going around the museum. నేను ఆటోమొబైల్ మ్యూజియం ఇది నాకే బోరింగ్ ఉంటుంది అనుకుంటే వాడేం చూస్తాడు చిన్నపిల్లోడు. Why did you get all these guys here అని చెప్పాను. You know what they told me? They said something very interesting. They said, why don't you watch what they were learning? You know what they made them do? They took them to a kiosk, proper kiosk laga. అక్కడికి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత there is multiple options. Like ఇప్పుడు మనం ఈ వెండింగ్ మెషిన్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, కోక్, సోడాస్ కొనుక్కోవడానికి, అన్ని డిఫరెంట్ స్నాక్స్ కొనుక్కోవడానికి. అట్లాగే అక్కడ ఒక వెండింగ్ మెషిన్ ఉంది. ఆ వెండింగ్ మెషిన్లో there are different options for the kids. You can customize the kind of car you want to make. Say for instance you want to make a Suzuki Vitara, right? So you pick the car, then you pick the color, you pick the make, you customize it, and మీ పేరుతో అంటే ఏ కలర్ కావాలి, ఏం కావాలి అన్ని పిక్ చేసుకుంటే ultimately a small toy with your name actually comes out of the whole thing. What it does to that young mind is ఎట్లా కార్ తయారు చేయాలి, ఎట్లా కస్టమైజ్ చేయాలి, a design innovation that people typically don't inculcate at a very young age. Now that was accomplished and that was done in a very subtle fashion, in a very indirect fashion, by way of sending these kids through that small routine. వాళ్ళు చెప్తున్నారు మరి why are Japanese automobiles, German automobiles so good? Why is their precision engineering so good? అంటే చిన్నప్పటి నుంచే ఆ డిజైన్ థింకింగ్లోకి, చిన్నప్పటి నుంచే వాటి గురించి ఒక ఫ్యాసినేషన్ డెవలప్ చేస్తే people will start gravitating and moving towards it. That is unfortunately sorely missing in our system here. We believe in theory. We don't really believe much in the practical exposure to how manufacturing is done, what are the new advanced manufacturing facets, etc., etc. I would absolutely be thrilled and I would love to see Hyderabad as a space tech capital of India. Now Skyroot of course has made us proud. Tomorrow I'm very confident that one of your colleagues and cohorts, Dhruva, will also put their satellites tomorrow into, I think sending them to orbit, or they are launching tomorrow. So let's also wish them luck. Let's also cheer each other so that we actually become the space tech hub and space tech capital for India. We've already launched a space tech policy, and as you've just requested Pawan, and I've promised Pawan and Bharat that they should not be sending their rockets elsewhere. They should be designed, they should be manufactured, they should be tested all in Telangana, and I promise you to get that land. What are we calling it? What are we calling this facility? You say, you gave me a name. పేరు చెప్పావు ఇందాక. What are we calling the facility? Integrated, Mali Japna integrated India's first integrated design, manufacturing and testing facility based in Telangana, and that will be Skyroute's facility from Telangana. I'll make it happen soonest. We'll break ground. So enjoy the moment, but there's many more miles to go before you rest on your laurels, because I think there are newer frontiers to conquer. You guys have to put satellites in the orbit probably in the next 1 year or so. You'll have to do a lot more. You'll have to attract the attention of the globe, and you'll have to continue to grow and continue to break more and more barriers. I love the name Skyroute because of one simple reason. While you may be soaring in skies, you're still rooted, in a place where you belong. And I truly love the fact that you've done it from India and you've done it from Hyderabad and Telangana. So congratulations to the entire family of Skyroute. Wishing you more and more success onwards and upwards. Thank you.